point in my life, yeah, going.
Hey tankers, I'm Brendan Blewett, audio director here at Wargaming Chicago. Today, I'm going to give you some insight as to how we put the sound effects together for a tank in World of Tanks on consoles. First, we needed to get our hands on some running tanks. Here at Wargaming, we're committed to the preservation of historical tanks, so we've had the honor and pleasure of working with some great vehicle museums all around the world to record the real thing. Stalin's Line, just outside of Minsk, Belarus, the Military Vehicle Technology Foundation in Mountain View, California, and the Royal Canadian Armored Corps Museum in Ontario, Canada, just to name a few. In version 4.5, we expanded the variety of tank engine sound effects to include a wider variety of gas and diesel engines, all recorded from running historical tanks. The first tank I ever rode in and recorded is still my personal favorite, the AK-47 of tanks, the T-54-55. The T-54-55 is a Soviet Tier 9 medium tank. In real life, upwards of 100,000 of these beasts were built, and they went on to become the main battle tank for the Soviet Army during the Cold War. It was the most produced tank in history, and some are still in military service right now. These tanks weren't powered by a simple truck or tractor engine. Building on the success of the power plant from the T-34, the Soviets built another variant of the V-series engine, the V-55. This engine had impressive specs, like V12 configuration, diesel power, 38.88 liter displacement, which is more than 6 times that of a Chevy 350, 500 horsepower all the way up to 800 horsepower on later models, and it all went to the ground through a 5-speed synchro-mesh manual gearbox. These power plants that were purpose-built for tanks were not built for comfort. They were built to do a job. So naturally, a lot of them are insanely loud. And have a pretty aggressive tone to them. We've had the opportunity to record 3 different T-54-55s in 3 different countries, and the recordings are all featured in version 4.5 for tanks equipped with diesel engines in the 300 to 649 horsepower range. In order to assemble a full set of sounds for a vehicle in the game, we have to attach an array of different microphones to the tank at key locations, like the engine, intake, exhaust, gearbox, treads, and inside the cabin. From there, we roll the recorders and have the driver perform a list of maneuvers, like going in a straight line at various speeds, turning at different radiuses, accelerating and decelerating, and the startup and shutdown of the engine. The result is a performance capture of the complete tank inside and out that we can edit into audio cues for use in-game. This allows the player to blend through audio perspectives around the tank and in the tank at runtime with sample accuracy from zoom in and sniper mode. Beyond that, we also record Foley of the exterior and interior equipment on the vehicle to get isolated single-shot bumps and rattles of all the unique ammo crates, racks, fuel tanks, radio equipment, and other gear. The result, when it's all put together, a recreation of what the real-life vehicle sounds like while underway.
Hi guys, thank you so very much for joining us again on another weekly assault. My name is Rivat01, and I have with me the one and only Brendan Blewett, who is
Audio director here at Wargaming Chicago.
There we go. I know you guys had questions about audio after 4.7, but we're here to talk about audio. We're here to talk about new tanks that we have in game and a bunch of other cool stuff. Now, just a quick announcement. I posted this on the forums, and I'm probably going to repeat myself, but we ninja'd you all, and we submitted a couple fixes today. There was no server downtime required, so all you have to do is sign out and then sign back in to see those fixes reflected. One of the big ones was the audio sound for the 50TP prototype from the Polish tech tree. So that audio fix is now resolved. And then there were a couple crashes that were reported from players for 360, so hopefully that issue has been resolved as well. Don't forget that, as I stated before, we have two new Polish tech tree or tanks. Why am I saying tech tree? Premium tanks. We have the Wojtek and also the 50TP. And before the stream, we were talking about the bear audio cue. So I asked if Brendan had to go into the forest and chase a bear, try to see if maybe he could record an audio sound. And what did you say?
Actually, bears don't sound as good as you'd hope that they would. And you know, there's very few things that I fear more than bears in the forest. But when you actually get a bear growl, they don't sound like a ferocious beast. They sound kind of like a weird mutated Chewbacca type thing. So when you hear bear roars in film, television, and in video games, a lot of the time it's a combination of other animal sounds. And I mean, so we didn't actually use bear sounds, sadly enough. But you can get the essence.
The magic is gone.
The essence of bear is there. The ferocious spirit of the bear exists in the Wojtek tank, and I'm happy with the results. Not having to harness the Chewbacca sounds of what real bears sound like.
Dwayne Snyder, he says beerly. So I think he's talking about your beer and he's talking about the bear at the same time. For all of you who can't see the screen, if we can switch back to the Xbox screen, we have the crew portrait in there. I mean, driving it. To me, it's just, you just want to give it hugs. You don't want to destroy it.
Well, I mean, I read up on the history of the actual bear, like, because the Polish unit had an actual bear that they got in, like, in Iran, I think. They got it in, like, the mountains of Iran or something. And the bear, like, integrated into their unit and would smoke cigarettes and drink vodka, and they would use him to, like, haul ammo around. So we tied it into, like, the reload mechanism for the game, because that actual bear in real life hauls ammo around. So he's kind of like the, I don't know what you'd call it, like the steward of ammo for this tank.
We should have a bear working at Wargaming.
I'm sure. The bear is traditionally like a Soviet symbol of power, right? So it might fit in with the Soviet line somehow. I don't know.
So again, we're here to talk a little bit about audio and then maybe take this tank up for a ride. But Brendan, since the last time you were here, that's when we introduced new sounds into the game, and now we also had new sounds for the guns in 4.7, which was our latest update. Can you tell us about the process of what exactly you did for the implementation before the updates release?
Sure. So guns was something, I have a memory of people requesting this actually the last time we did a live stream, asking when are the new guns going to be in. So guns are a little bit different of a beast than tanks are, because tank guns are so loud that the sound pressure levels they generate are like almost essentially outside the spectrum of listenable sound. It's so loud that it goes from being a sound force to being like a force of nature, or like you know, something that causes mechanical. It can cause mechanical failure in a microphone, and like, you know, Occupational Safety Hazard Administration in the U.S. says that like you can only be exposed to certain sound pressure levels for certain amounts of time before you'll suffer permanent hearing loss. But tank guns are so loud, like in the 160 dB SPL range, that like if you are exposed to the gun itself without hearing protection, you will lose hearing, period. Like you will suffer permanent hearing loss instantly. And microphones, recording technology, generally are designed to record things that we listen to, like human voices or musical instruments or nature ambience, whatever. So the issue we run into is trying to record the real gun is that it's so loud that the microphone just overloads, and all you end up getting is like this tick sound. You think you're going to get this awesome, huge, massive, powerful sound, but you play back the audio of the recording, and it's just like tick. And our PC team like realized this, I guess it must have been like 6 years ago or so. They went to Jordan. The king of Jordan, King Abdul of Jordan, invited the PC guys to record the tanks in the desert there on the Iraq border, and they recorded the guns. And when they came back with the source material, the guns just clipped out the mic and didn't make any sound at all.
Wow.
So then we got into kind of trying to reverse engineer what we think the ultimate tank gun sound would sound like, and then construct that from individual elements. So like the breech sound, the actual sound of the breech mechanism working is from real tanks, but the body of the explosion, the tails, all those things were recorded separately and then stitched together at runtime. So like the tails, like the reverb tails, are all tannerite explosions and fireworks explosions that were recorded at like 10 meters, 100 meters, and then a kilometer away. And then we create distance layers with those tails that crossfade based on your distance from the emitter in the game. So each gun sound itself is, I think, around 80 or 90 discrete wave file assets that are all built into containers and randomized each time, so all the guns don't sound like they're playing the exact same sound every time you pull the trigger. It's got like a very minute, subtle, but hearable or audible variance within
so
each
they will
each
sound
gun
different
sound. Right.
at this every time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it was no small task. Like I think the gun update involved 500 or 600 wave files.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long does it usually take to implement one?
Well, there's making a system that we know works, and then having that system scale up to all the calibers that are represented in the game, and then having that distributed to all the thousands of game objects that have guns attached to them is kind of a bunch of different challenges. So the first step was to prove that we can build a gun sound out of 8 individual elements, like a pre-attack, a body, a reverb tail, the breech sound, the metal stress of the tank settling after the gun goes off. Like all those are taken into consideration. So prove that that system works, and then make variants of each of those individual assets to like scale out across all the caliber ranges, and that's kind of how it worked. But it took us the whole milestone, more than the whole milestone. I was working on it since 4.5, 4.6, and got it in there, yeah.
A couple months in there.
Yeah.
Gary David Phillips, the Wojtek gets lost in the engine sound. Any chance of enhancing him? I think like that what they're trying to say is like he's not growling enough.
They want him louder.
Loud enough.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And this milestone right now, we're actually working on kind of making an overall mix update to the game, because we've been adding more and more sound, like more tonally rich stuff. Like all the new engine sounds have more bass, more treble. There's just more spectral content there. And as those sounds all keep getting added on, we're kind of slowly turning things up. And at a certain point, you just run out of places to turn things up to. So we're kind of running out of headroom, and we're gonna start making like slow adjustments over time to bring the dynamic range back into the mix so that we can have louder loud sounds, if that makes sense.
David Barentine, I love the new sounds. Now waiting for the Italian line. We just announced this is exactly what happened when we did with the Czech line, and they're like, when are the Swedish coming? Exactly the very next day. So now we just announced Polish, and then they're like, okay, now where's the Italian tank line? And then players complain that we're releasing too many tanks. So make up your mind, guys. Now that we have Bear audio in game, several players have been asking, is there any way that maybe we can have the Bear just have its own language in game, and maybe other nationalities like Irish or Australian audio
localized,
changes,
like
yeah.
more voice packs. That is something that I'm keen on, and I know someone asked about that before. And it has gotten that task has kind of gotten lost in the fray because voiceover updates are complicated because there's 17 languages now and 3 or 4 different crew types if you count the elf crew from Christmas 2 years ago. So
no.
adding that stuff in is doable, but it just takes us time to make sure that that it doesn't break everything when we add it. So it's ongoing. We're looking into it, and we'll make something happen. I would love to have Irish and Australian, or any other dialect that we can.
I love the Irish accent.
Yeah. And as far as like the bear stuff goes, I mean, we'd have to create some sort of bear language so that, like, you know, when bear growls in a specific way, you know that your fuel tank is ruptured. But that would take a little bit of work. I might have to hire some wildlife experts and linguists.
No, it would crack me up if I was talking about this on the live stream yesterday when I was platooning with the community, that if the bear's trying to communicate and then other tanks just respond normal English, like as if they understood this bear. Joshua Vaipulu, where did you guys come up with the impact sounds? I love the metal shearing we have now.
That stuff was largely just recorded Foley stuff that was all, you know, designed and massaged in Nuendo to put together. But what we did do this last milestone that it really wasn't kind of done justice in the release notes is that we added distinction for AP, APCR, and HE rounds for environmental impacts. So like if somebody's shooting at you and missing with AP or APCR or HE rounds and hitting the terrain around you, you'll get different audio feedback based on that. And the same thing goes for the impacts on tank. They're subtle, but they're different. So we ended up, you know, expanding that all out because we've got effects for small, medium, large calibers, and then 5 different ammo types. So they, you know, that extrapolates out to, again, hundreds of individual assets in the game. So yeah, but we just hit a bunch of stuff with hammers and ripped up a bunch of sheet metal and.
Why aren't I part of these things? I want to be part of that. Stress relief.
Take all that, put it into a big pool of assets, and pick and choose what sounds good together. Put it all together and get it in the game.
Nice.
That's the job.
Oh, you have like the coolest job ever. Kyle Davis, I love the background machine gun fire in game after the fighting dies down.
Cool. I like it too. We've actually had to get a little bit more creative with how that stuff's mixed into the game with the newest updates, because we're, for the first time since the release of the Xbox One, kind of hitting the technical limitations of what the hardware can do. Because before, when we ported the 360 over, it was like, woohoo, we've got all this extra space and memory and processing power.
Let's go
and we've been using that up. And now we've gotten to the point where we're like, all right, we've hit the limit as to what we can do with the number of sounds playing at once is the big issue. So now, I don't know if y'all noticed, but like we limited the number of distant machine gun sounds that can play at once to like 4. But that's dependent on how much other stuff is going on. The same thing happens with the nature ambience. Like, if you shoot your gun right now in the game, all of the birds and like crickets and wildlife go away for like 15 or 20 seconds. So, and that's for reasons in that like birds would probably fly away if you were shooting a tank gun. And also it frees up space for us to have other sounds playing, because we assume that when you're in a gunfight that hearing the cricket in the grass next to you is not a very high priority sound effect to be hearing.
In fact, didn't DJ kick out the cricket from the garage? Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah. TJ specifically was like, take the cricket out of the garage. I can't stand it. All right, you got it.
He's right. Oh my God. So he was the one that was like, no cricket. I'm like, okay. Alfredo Ramirez, any plans on ramming sounds?
So I want to expand on the tank-on-tank interaction sound. Like, that system is not as mature as it could be. Whereas we have feedback right now that it's like, it knows when two tanks are touching, and once they're rubbing above a certain amount of friction, a sound gets fired off. But we'd really like to be able to take that data as to like how intense the friction intensity and direction is, and like map that to like a more blended sound container. So this is all cool stuff that would be nice to have, especially like once we can carve out some more room for voice count and memory stuff. So for the first time in like, a long time, I'm like, oh, I can't wait until the next gen of consoles come out. So I can start hammering on those memory footprints a little bit more.
Let's see. I already asked that question from Baipulu. There was another question that was on the teleprompter. If you still got it, there you go. Aaron, can you help me with the last name?
Altenbaumer.
Altenbaum, thank you. Love the sound of the breech opening at the round ejecting.
Me too. Thanks.
You're like, I just love it. It seems like players have a favorite something. I love the way this sounds. I love the way, in the end, you're building the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Kind of like this.
I'm trying to elicit an emotional response from everybody. And the shell ejection thing took a hot minute to like sort out how I was going to do it. And I don't know if y'all are playing on TV speakers or stereo speakers or headphones or surround, but in the surround mix, the ejection sound is coming from behind you. So it's the idea is that you're in the driver's seat, and when the gun goes off, you can hear the ejection happening behind you. And it's not just directly behind you; it randomly comes out from between the two rear speakers every time. So that was kind of a cool add-on that we worked in there.
I mean, if so far I'm reading favorable comments. George Horn, World Tanks has come a long way. Great job on everything, guys. Keep up the good work. Thumbs up. Thank you so much for the shout out. Someone said they like my necklace. Okay, thank you. It was a clothing swap, so I don't know where it came from. Dan Horner, is Brendan a tank crew?
I sure am.
Yes.
Was it cutthroat?
Yeah. So let's go. Let's check it out. Let's go check Brendan right here, because I know I have. You're not logging. Which tank are you? I keep forgetting. I think you're long reach, right?
I'm not sure which tank I was. I know the character was cutthroat. I don't remember which tank he comes with.
Let's see. Oh, your contract is not available. Oh, that's right. It ended a couple of days ago. In fact, I had to close long reach. Oh boy, now we're in trouble. I don't remember and the problem is that I'm the person that coordinated.
Yeah, I only saw the picture when it was done. I didn't get any of the gory details.
There's just so many mercenaries that now I know Longbomb is Michelle, and then I know Spyglass is Ingo, and Thresher is Danny, and yeah, it's just roundabout. There you go.
Okay.
I can hear myself on the computer. Yeah, your contract is not available. It ended a couple days ago too. Yeah, but what is it like to be a mercenary?
I mean, it feels good. It's empowering, I like the fact that they made my character a South African assassin too. I'm like, if I had it to do over, that would be a pretty cool profession, path to take in life.
That's like your alter.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, my alter ego.
I feel like now that there are mercenaries in the game or in this environment, there should do like a Dark Horse World of Tanks edition of just a comic based on the mercenaries.
That would be awesome.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to bring
I like
this
the
up.
alternate history stuff too, because the sky's the limit. Like it's like, once you branch off of like the actual historical timeline, we can make up all kinds of crazy lore and stories about, fictional tank battles in the 1950s.
Okay, I think we are. Oh, we're almost halfway through the show. That is actually going fast.
Far out.
So, how about if we give away a couple of tanks?
Sounds good.
I think that sounds really good too. Since we have the 2 premium Polish tanks that we just released a couple days ago, let's give away both of them. But first, we're gonna start with the Wojtek, and it's gonna come along with the Daniel and the Wojtek Bear crew. So for a chance to win one of those, along with your gamer tag, I want you to put in chat, what do you suggest, players?
Oh, man.
We can do like favorite audio cue or audio sound, favorite.
Now, I feel like I need
Cutthroat
to make,
is the
like
best
we did
Mercenary
last time,
one.
they need to work a little bit for it.
Oh,
we need to ask some
man.
sort of trivia question.
But if the person that sends the correct answer, is it gonna win or it just picks someone random?
That's a good question also.
Haha.
But I mean, I guess we'd be the first person to give the right answer, but we need to come up with a question, the ultimate question.
Wow, now that's too serious.
Yeah, I don't know. Things have been
Ultimate
serious lately.
question. Everyone loves your beer, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm sure at the end we're gonna close again with some beard
care
questions. Yeah. How do you maintain it? What's in there? All that good stuff again. Anyway, so what do you want to ask the community?
Man, I should have thought of this. I should have come in here prepared for this.
If you want to, we'll
How
save
about-
it for the second tank. We can ask something random right now.
Yeah, I mean, the RoboCop question from last time was like,
Yeah.
that's my go-to pull out a trivia question really quick. What's the best-selling toy in the history of mankind?
Oh, I think I know this one.
It came up because we were just messing around with one before we came on.
Oh,
Came on
really?
the air here.
And along with your gamer tag, put in Facebook chat the best selling toy
Of all time.
Of all time. I was gonna say a rock.
And I don't even know. You know, this is a trivia question, so I don't even know if I'm right. But like,
Is it silly putty?
no.
No.
There's one sitting on the desk right over there next to his coffee cup.
What? Oh, okay. Okay. How does that have to do with audio? I don't know. We're just having fun. This is a fun stream,
we
guys.
don't have to do that one.
No, no, no.
If you Google it, what comes up when you Google it?
Well, that's what Tanksaurs did, and apparently nothing that's correct from what I'm seeing from here.
Yeah, I mean, I read that on the Wikipedia page for the toy.
Oh, look, we're already seeing something. Legos. Would it be Lego, Barbie? The Rubik's Cube.
Oh, there
Melissa
it is.
Cummings.
It's the Rubik's Cube. Whoever said
Yeah.
Rubik's Cube gets the tank.
Let's see. It was Melissa. Melissa, you just won yourself the Wojtek tank. She was the very first person to post it, Melissa Cummings. And her gamer tag is Brutal Poodle 97.
That's awesome.
That is an amazing
Yeah.
gamer tag, Melissa. That is fantastic. Okay, so since that was very specific, let's give away another bear tank. Why not? We feel pretty happy, so happy that you're here. So let's give another one. For a chance to win a bear tank, the Wojtek tank with the bear crew, I want you guys to tell me, along with your gamer tag, if you like Brendan's t-shirt.
Yeah, I picked this one out today specifically because I knew everybody was going to be seeing me.
Oh man, let's see how many people post in comments below. So aside from the gun changes or the audio gun changes, have you done anything with the environment?
Not lately, other than authoring new ambience for the new maps. We haven't done like nature recording at all. We've just been so nose to the grindstone on the engine stuff, and then all the ballistic impacts and all the guns. I mean, those were huge time sinks, and we kind of feel settled a little bit after all that stuff's done because we've touched on all the major systems. There's definitely a lot of improvements still to be made. I think the component damage system could use some sprucing up as far as audio feedback. But our next steps are all about optimization and creating like a higher kind of level of sophistication in the dynamic mix and like automation, like how the game adapts to how you're playing and like gives you more apparent audio feedback based on how you play the game. Like that's our goal, to make the game almost like a learning algorithm that adapts to each player to provide them with the most relevant and meaningful audio experience, which is almost like a philosophical goal more than a practical goal. But we want to expand on the natural ambient stuff as much as possible.
Any trips that you have coming up about audio recording?
No, nothing to speak of. It's been a little while since we did anything. And we've just been spending so much time taking the recordings that we've done and getting them into the game that we haven't gotten out and done that stuff. And plus winter's come. Chicago's winter is coming. And we have...
Winter, Siberia's coming.
We were planning on going and getting a bunch of deep metal impacts like here in the city, because this is the time of year that I don't know if anybody out there cares about any of this stuff, but in Chicago we have a river system with drawbridges. There's like 50 drawbridges, and in October and November of each year, the drawbridges go up to let sailboats come through to go down into the lake or up the river. And those bridges are like massive steel structures that make like huge metal stress sounds and big, like just huge impacts and deep bass hits. So we've been meaning to get out there and record some of that stuff when we get like a hot minute to ourselves and try to work out how that stuff can be manipulated and put into the game.
Though they make really, I was walking down by Washington. I wasn't even near Merchandise Mart. And then obviously that bridge that's literally in front of that building just started going up, and the sound was intimidating because you really don't know what it is, and then like you are reminded that yes, those are the months that those bridges go up and down. And I'm like, oh, okay, but it sounds like a Transformers movie happening. Yeah. Which I kind of did. They did record some of that here in Chicago, but that is interesting to say the least.
It's like something that's unique to this place, and it's a sound that you won't be able to generate on your own, and that's the kind of, capturing that sort of unique stuff is what the craft is really all about, I think.
If you could take your own liberties in the game, what audio changes would you make? Crazy, that stuff that even if it doesn't apply to the game itself, what would you like to change or add? I wouldn't say change, add to it. I
have a love-hate relationship with voiceover in general.
Really?
Yeah, like I play our game with the voiceover turned down pretty much all the way. I'm like this with music as well. Like if I'm given the option to listen to a song that has singing in it or to listen to the same song with no singing, I will choose the version with no singing. I feel like the singing is just fancy talking, right? And it's getting in the way of me enjoying the music.
That's the quote of the day. Make a t-shirt out of that. Singing is fancy talking. I love that.
So, yeah, I mean, voiceover is a really good method of giving people deliberate feedback, right? It especially works if you're not on a high fidelity sound system or surround sound, and you just need to get like really upfront feedback to the player, like, hey, this thing just happened. And voiceover is like, it kind of like eliminates any gray area, right? It's like, if you hear the track get hit and knocked off, which makes a sound effect, you will never ask yourself, did my track just break? If a voice says, they just blew off our track. So it's there as a reinforcement thing to players that don't maybe identify the sound effects as giving them the information. So to me, I'm just like, I'm torn. And you asked me if I had liberties. This is my individual opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right thing for all players. But getting voiceover right, yeah, I'm like, there's very few games that have done it. I think The Last of Us probably comes to mind as one of the prime examples of that. That is how it should be done. Like the voiceover in that game is second to none, and it's because they recorded actors performing the whole thing out. They mocapped it and did the voice at the same time.
Intensive.
Right. So it's like they're capturing the whole performance of a professional actor, not like saying like somebody's going to act out the movement and then have somebody go into a sound booth and talk over that. Like voiceover in and of itself is just a complicated thing that it's, spoken word is such a powerful thing to humans, and so to me that's something I would like to look further into. Is like, what is the best way of communicating information with words in a video game setting? I don't know.
Not fancy talking.
Yeah.
Joel Soberville, tank commanders yelling at autoloaders and drivers. I feel like during loading time, what are you doing? Load up fast. That would be so horrible. That would add stress to my game, I think. I wouldn't
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that.
a real tank crew, maybe in the Mercenaries world, they might bicker and like infight, but in the military, I'm pretty sure like matters of the heart are left outside of the tank.
Out. Now, this one is interesting. I can talk a little bit about it, and I'm sure you also have information about it. Jeff Corsello, how about audio of tankers screaming when their tank explodes?
Yeah, dude, wouldn't that be awesome? How about people on fire climbing out of the tanks and running around on fire?
Yeah, no, that's...
You can't do it with a teen rating. That's
No,
all there is to it, yeah.
Exactly, and then we want to make sure that the game focuses on the tanks alone. Not, yes, the crew is in there, but the primary object is play the tanks, have fun with the tanks, and we also want to leave it, I wouldn't say vague, but, you know, at the end you still hear the crew said, oh, you know, better luck next time or whatever. So there is this perception that, yes, the crew is still alive. We never want to put too much human element into the game because then, again, our ratings would not match what we currently have right now in the game. But yeah,
and we
no.
want to keep it accessible, so you know, to
Yeah.
a wide variety of people. And the game is not about, you know, human suffering in any way.
Yeah.
It's about playing with your friends online.
Let's see. Carlos Sanchez, some cannon sounds sound like glass cannons and sounds when I get shot. I don't think they sound like glass cannons.
I mean, everyone, you know, has different equipment that they listen to the game on. So we test it on everything from this little jam box, like a boom box from the 90s that I have that's really crappy, all the way up to the Blue Sky System 1 DTS surround system monitors. So like we account for the full spectrum of playback environments as best we can, but we don't try it on 50 different TVs. We try it on one TV, one jam box, one set of stereo speakers, one set of consumer surround speakers, and then one set of professional studio surround speakers. And it sounds good on all of those. So like I said, we can't predict what it's going to sound like on every system.
Right.
And we're, for the next update, like I said, refactoring a lot of sounds, kind of making mixed tweaks, handling how our sidechain compression works to try to put a little bit more dynamic range into the game, make the loud sounds louder, make sure that feedback that you need from the sound is like being presented in the right way. So the fact that, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, the guns sound massive, and then some people are like, oh, they sound really small, kind of cancel each other out. But we've listened to it on a lot of different sound systems, and we've got it sounding about as good as we can. We're going to continue to work on improving it, though.
Yeah, testing on every single TV ever made. It's just impossible. Juan Carlos Ibarra, will the autoloaders get a different reload sound? That's a good question.
You know, reloads are, I just was working on reload stuff earlier today. Yeah, I'm literally today looking into how to branch off the reload system into giving more specific feedback to the player. Because since the beginning of World of Tanks, we've just had a single reload event that's based on current reload progress. If current reload progress is 100%, play reload sound. And that's it so far. So branching that out and making it work for autoloaders, different calibers, having a different sound for SPGs, that's all stuff that I would really like to get into. So yeah, we're totally looking into that.
Sebastian Wilkowski, how about tankers telling each other jokes if no action drive for too long? Question mark, question mark.
Great idea. So that's out of Blizzard's playbook. Like StarCraft style, if you spam a unit by clicking on it, they start to tell jokes after a few minutes.
Oh, please make that happen. I love that idea. Well, then again, if I file an ICLB, Pingo's going to be like, no, I should just go to you.
Yeah, well, it's back to the whole the ramifications of that because we have to record that in 17 languages.
That's true.
And who's going to write the jokes? Are the jokes going to translate into Chinese? Are they going to make sense in Chinese?
Yeah, I was going to say, is the humor the same or
so
different?
We have to get a bunch of staff comedians on board to write Chinese jokes for us. Totally doable. Is that what you want us to do with our resources?
Yeah, the players are always like, why didn't you do this? I'm like, well, we were trying to make jokes in different countries and different languages. Did we have... Tank Source gave us the name of the winner for the... There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, the breach sounds are different for all the different caliber classes and the autoloaders. They're all similar, but they are similar because the mechanisms work the same way in all the tanks. So we recorded, a handful of different sizes of things and used them that way.
Ta-da! All right, so the winner of the Wojtek tank with the Bear crew is Joni Roman, and he said, "Awesome T-shirt, Brendan." His gamer tag is Paco underscore JRL on PS4. Congratulations.
Or is it IRL?
IRL or J?
Paco,
J
IRL?
I?
J-I? I don't know. JRL.
JRL.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a little bit of this because there's the underscore. It kind of leads into it. But congratulations. After the stream, I'm going to go ahead and credit you the tank. If you guys, Brendan is here. He's taking audio questions. Ask him all the questions. Does it have an audio cue? Or is the bunny silent?
Yeah, the bunny's silent. It's one of those things where there's no situation where a bunny would make a sound loud enough to be heard over a tank.
It's stomping on ground like.
Yeah, I mean it would be a
crunchy.
soft sound. So I guess we could set it up so that you could hear it like only if your engine is broken, which actually having a broken engine, I find to be super peaceful. Like when your engine breaks in the game, because all of a sudden it's just quiet. You don't hear that idle anymore, and you can hear the nature sounds. You can hear the wind through the trees. So yeah, like maybe when your engine breaks, a bunny could run by as you sit there and wait to get blown up by somebody because you can't move.
Oh, I just skipped the question. Calling Sochlan, how about a contest where a player can become a crew voice? That's
actually a pretty good idea. But the question that I don't know if a player really wants to do that. That entails quite a bit of scrutiny. Let's put it that way. Are you ready to be in an isolated room with 4 engineers staring at you through glass, critiquing every word that comes out of your mouth for days?
Yeah.
For days and days and days, and then you're in the game, and everybody is going to have an opinion on what your voice sounds like. Is that what you want? I mean, I'll put the microphone in there, but if that's what you guys want. With great power comes great responsibility.
When I do the streams and then I have to upload them in YouTube later, or when I do streams on Twitch and I rewatch them, I have to turn the volume down because I dislike the way my voice sounds. Like it would be fun if I could do the voice for the Deadbolt, which is my Mercenary crew. But then I listen to myself and I'm like, maybe not.
But you know what? A good voiceover director can get a pretty good performance out of someone if they're capable of it, right? If they can do it, it can be squeezed out of them by working with the right director. So I'm actually, to that end, to answer that question, if that's something that people would be interested in signing up for, a contest that results in them having a voiceover pack in the game, let's do it. I'm all about it.
Brian Superball White. That is totally the name that's in there. Don't ask me questions, ask Brian. How about the trees snapping when you crash into them? All you hear is the foliage kind of cracking and
there's
the dry
a sound
leaves.
for when you hit it, a crunch sound, and then a sound for when it hits the ground. There might be certain trees in the game that are not set up right because we do have a little bit of, it's a big game with a lot of changes that happen. Sometimes stuff slips through. But I can look into that. I'm all about a big crunching, cracking sound when you hit a tree.
I love crunch.
And that's something actually I'd love to go work with, I guess it would be logging, right? That sound of a tree falling over is like no other sound. It's just this massive cracking sound. And the ones in the game, I think, they were there when I got here, so I don't know where they came from. Maybe we need to go knock some trees over.
Ooh, oh man, poor Mother Nature. It's for the sake of World of Tanks. Jason Catron, I'm not familiar with audio terms, or maybe you can dig into it. Jason Catron, any chance of more localized dynamic music on the various maps?
So the music in the maps, War Story stuff is all Enon Zur. That's expandable, but that ship has kind of sailed. Like our contract with him for War Stories is up. And the rest of it is the work that the PC team does. So basically, I'm synchronizing with their project like every few weeks. And as they create new music, bringing it down. And it shows up in our game like, a couple months after it shows up in their game. Andre Klimka is the composer that works for Wargaming that does all that music, and he's constantly working on expanding that. The gameplay music stuff, because it's non-linear music. It's not like just a song. He created all these loops that interplay with one another. So yeah, it will be being updated on an ongoing basis, but it will not be every update that you see new music.
Joshua Vaipulu again, can we have ticking exhaust backfire or other poor running sounds when our engine is repaired but damaged?
Yes. You can have that. I will work on that. It's actually one of my nice-to-have items. I haven't worked out a way to do it because there's no room left on the 360 at all to put anything in. And we're trying to figure out, we can't just have another set of tank engine sounds. We'll have to layer something in that works with the existing sounds, just because, like I said, we don't have room anymore to add more engine sounds. But I've been trying to work that one out for a while, and I think it would be really cool, like a knocking sound, like one of your connecting rods is broken or something, so the engine just sounds like crap. Yeah. But also, how annoying should we be with it? I mean, in real life, it would be like 100% annoying if your engine was making a loud sound. And people will cover up their check engine light because they don't want to see it. You know?
If out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be a terrible reminder. Like, oh my God, I'm screwed. My poor engine.
Yeah.
Jake Polanski, I love your last name. My cat's last name was Polowski, so Polanski. You, Jake, are awesome. Love the new sounds, Brendan. He just wanted to shout out.
Thank you, sir.
Greg Parker, in space, no one can hear you meow. It's very true.
It is true, as far as I know.
Elvis Ortiz, any attention on Xbox 360 in managing sounds? The sounds should be the same.
Well, so 360 branched off, like when we did the new engine sounds, and it's just that literally with the number of tanks, the sheer amount of content in the game, we can't fit the new stuff on the 360. So we could have the new engine sound system running on the 360, but you'd only have like 2 or 3 engine sounds for the whole game. Just because there's no space in memory to fit anything else on the 360. It's an old platform. It's been more than a decade since the thing came out. You got to realize that when the Xbox 360 came out, the iPhone wasn't a thing. Like, it didn't exist. There were no iPhones when the Xbox 360 came out. So
that's
it's an old machine, and we're keeping it running for the players that are there, and we're doing our best to kind of carve out space to improve things on the 360. But it's full. The machine is full. It is running. It is running at redline all the time.
Full of tank goodness. A couple questions. Andre Serda, what about the sandbags getting stuck on them, and any luck on fixing on that? They got fixed on 4.7. So if you are getting stuck, that is news to all of us because those got fixed. Or are you just asking because you weren't aware? Those are even on the build notes on Portal and on the website. Let's see. I think we can, oh man, we have not given away the 50 TP, the second Polish premium tank. Do you want to give it away?
I'll give it away now.
Fine. Awesome. And don't forget that along with your answers, you have to type in your gamer tag. No gamer tag, no reward. What do players have to type in Facebook chat in order to win a just one, 50 TP Polish premium tank?
Metal rules.
Hashtag metal rules?
Hashtag metal rules.
Metal, tank metal, or
just metal. It could be any type. Metal does rule. Metallurgy, the craft of metallurgy, crafting metal songs, all metal. You know, metal toys. It's like if you're gonna have a toy car, do you want the plastic toy car or the metal toy car? You want the metal toy car.
Yeah. Get that plastic one out of the way. Daniel Schreider, the music is good. If you want more music. Oh, actually, no, if you want the music, and this is something that Brendan and Anthony helped me put together, towards the end of the month, I think first week of December, we will be releasing the fan kit, the World Tanks console or World Tanks Mercenaries fan kit, and the soundtrack is in there, so anyone will be able to download the music, and that includes music from War Stories and Mercenaries. So thank you so much for the help. And yeah, I mean, Brendan gave me and Anthony gave me all those files. and you'll see more information about where to get the fan kit. And it also comes with wallpapers, logos, things that you can use if you want to make videos or streams. All on that.
And I should add also that the Enon Zur music in that fan kit is exclusively in that fan kit. There's nowhere else to obtain that right now, at least. So if you get it, you're special.
Yeah. All right, there we go. I'm seeing already names. There we go. Michael, Metal Rules, Jinsu Catron, CM Boos. That's his name. Pretty good. Rene Martinez. Everyone is just saying Metal Rules.
It does. It's a fact. It's science.
Also, well, after we pick a winner, we can move on to the beer questions because they keep popping left and right. Do you want to limit to maybe 4 beard questions, or you don't care? The sky's the limit?
Yeah, I mean, there's a cutoff time, so we can field as many beard questions as we want within the time allotted, which is what, like 8 or 10 minutes or so? Or we can just stay here forever.
I love your company. I love our players. 87. Let's do this. All right, Jacob Blakely. I love the shell sound coming up after firing.
Awesome.
That is amazing. He gives me the thumbs up. I'm like, you thumbs up too. Awesome. I think we have. Do we have the name?
We had a winner there for a second.
And then he disappeared. No tank for him. Do we? No? Yes? Oh, well, while we select the name of the winner, I want you to also select other winners. These are the pictures and the names of players who submitted photos for a contest that I was running on the forums, and it was called I'm Not Scared. The whole purpose was for players using the replay system to take a photo in-game where it showed that they were not scared. And it was basically a lot of photos of their low-tier tanks surrounded by tank destroyers most of the time. But they were not scared. They were like, let's do this. We're going to succeed and finish this fight. So you're going to select 5 people that are going to win 14 days of premium time, and then 2 people that are going to win both Polish tanks.
Okay.
So first winner of premium time, 14 days of premium time.
Mashman 90.
Oh my God. I feel like he has a limit of winning. Pick the next one. This is premium time.
It's because he plays. You can't win if you don't play.
He participates. It's like Lotto. You'll never win if you don't participate.
Clever Joey, 1844.
Ooh, congrats, Clever Joey. 14 days of premium. Oh, I put 14 instead of P. Well, whatever.
Daywalker 2012-14.
That's a nice name. Sounds threatening too. Like you go into battle. Oh my God!
Not as threatening
Death Walker.
Is it Daywalker or Death Walker?
Death Walker. Oh no, this is Clever Joey, Mashman. Oh boy, Daywalker. Okay, no, that sounds pretty
Nightwalker
chill.
might be a little bit scarier, but. Slavchik 59.
Ah, I love that gamer tag. Let's do this. Premium time. Boom, boom.
ATHF J-Man 18.
This guy. All right,
These
now,
guys.
yeah, these guys are always participating and winning. Again, you guys can be one of these guys if you participate on the forum contest. Now, the next name is going to be a tanker that's going to win both new Polish premium tanks.
Okay, X-Polygon X.
Ooh, shout out and congratulations, premium tank. Last but not least,
Dr. I Am Killington. Pretty great name.
Yeah, congratulations. You get both Polish tanks as well. And wow, we're giving so much today. We have the winner of the hashtag Metal Rules, and the winner is?
David Noctis.
Congratulations, David Noctis. Michael Haley says, Dad Rules 060 says, oh, Heavy Metal Rules. They're still participating. Congratulations for all the winners on the forum contest, and congratulations to our winners for the Polish premium tanks that we're giving away during the stream. We are basically almost done. That went fast. Time goes fast when you're having fun.
It's true.
It's really, really true. Do you want to say anything to the players before you signed out? about the sounds and things that maybe you, I know you can't confirm anything, but things that you have planned for World of Tanks in the future?
Well, I definitely want to thank everybody for playing, obviously, and participating in the forums and the Facebook group, giving us feedback on this stuff, because we focus test everything. It goes through super test, but ultimately we don't know how people are going to receive it until you've received it. And without that feedback, we don't know what direction to go. So we're going to continue, obviously, trying to improve the experience, improve the fidelity, and just continue making it better as we march forward towards the next generation of consoles, maybe.
Oh boy, here we go. Christopher Elliott, what's the best beer conditioner?
Conditioner is kind of a high-level term, but I'll just say Moroccan argan oil is a good product to use after you shampoo the beard.
But Moroccan argan oil is for skin,
you can
for
use it
hair.
for a lot of things,
yeah,
yeah.
because I put it on my face before I go to bed. That's why I was like, oh,
There you go.
yay! We'll share brands. Toker Gomez, how long that beastie beard take to grow?
This beard started in May of
Oh
like 2015, I think. I had another long beard at that point, but I was in Hawaii doing a roofing job, and it was so hot that I was like, the beard's got to go. So I chopped the beard and buried it in the jungle. So I left it behind. I left it behind in Hawaii and started growing another beard then. And this beard has gone, to ZZ Top level and come back up a few times.
Was there like a ceremony and all? And it's just buried?
I brought it with me on a hiking outing, and I was like, I'm going to find a nice spot to put my beard back into the earth. This beautiful tropical rainforest. That way, part of me is there forever, and like my beard has plants growing out of it and stuff. Like I'm feeding the plants with my beard in Hawaii.
You can create a map and have people try to find it.
Geocaching, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's like a 4-year beard, but it's a work in progress, ongoing, all the time.
Oh boy. Now this question, this is from Jeff Corsello. Does anything live in your beard? Birds?
Not generally. I mean, I wash it pretty regularly and get all the riffraff out of there.
Oh boy. Okay. No more beer questions. Just a couple things before we sign out. We got all your feedback about the changes of the Wraith and Holland Hound. This is all over the forums, and a lot of players are already asking in chat about the removal of the skulls. Again, this is World of Tanks Mercenaries, and we are a global game. We have to make adjustments to make sure that the games appeal to everyone, and we want to maintain cultural sensitivity, and because we want to be inclusive and let other players from other nationalities play the game. The skulls also affected our game rating, so that was another issue or a reason that we had to remove those skulls. Now, I know that players were a little upset about the red mask that was implemented in the Holland Hound, and based on your feedback, we made the decision that in the next update, we are going to remove it. If it didn't get removed on a silent update that we did today, it's going to be removed in a future one. So we heard your feedback, and we completely understand. You guys don't like it, so we want to do good by our players and remove that thing. If still you are not happy with the way the Holland Hound looks, you can contact customer support and they will be able to assist you. If you purchase the tank and you just are not happy with the tank anymore, we'll be happy to issue you a refund. Why? Because our players are our priority, and if you're not happy, we're not happy. So we're trying to do the best we can to make sure that you guys are playing a game and roll out. Again, two new Polish premium tanks. It's hard for me to say Polish premium tanks. Like, I don't know, there's...
Try saying it 6 times fast. Polish premium tanks,
I'll have
Polish
to
premium
practice.
tanks, yeah, I can't do it.
See? Yay.
Lord
Okay.
knows what kind of
I'm
flub
not
I'm gonna
alone.
make, yeah.
Anyway, so check them out. They're really awesome. I had a couple of amazing matches yesterday when I was playing with the community. I love the bear tank, which is the Wojtek, and it's a tier 6, and then also the 50 TP tier 8 premium tank. Amazing. Take them out for a spin. Again, you can find me in the forums. Brendan, thank you so much for joining us on another weekly assault. And next week, we'll have more surprises and another dev host. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.